Hey everybody, this is Vintage Sewing Machine Garage, trying to get another video made for one of my machines that I'm posting. And you are looking at the Singer 404 Slant-O-Matic. This is a 1950s Singer sewing machine. It is all metal. It is heirloom quality. It's one of those models that I choose to restore because I believe it's worth the time and investment to do so. Now, what some of you, if you're looking at this machine, you might think, hey, is that the Singer 301? And it's not. The 300 series, which was the first slant shank or slant-o-matic machine that Singer developed, was based on the featherweight bobbin system. So it has a vertical bobbin that you put in on the side. And it's confusing to people, though, because the body, part of the body styling for the 400 series is very similar to the 300. There are some differences. Of course, the 300 has a flip-up extension bed, both the short and the long versions, and this one does not. This bed is one piece. But like the 301, you can go into reverse. It's a straight stitch machine. There's a different way to lower and raise your feed dog, so that has changed here. The bobbin winder, which is one of my favorite bobbin winder designs, is still on the front. And a lot of the parts, some of the parts are common. For example, the light lens, glass lens, is the same, and the hand wheel is the same. Much of the mechanics and drive shaft inside, up top, is the same. What does change, though, of course, the biggest change is your bobbin system. The drop-in bobbin, or the 66 style bobbin, as it's sometimes called, that bobbin was developed for the 400 series. So when you have this is the 404, it's the straight stitch version. The 401A, of course, has all sorts of, it has straight and zigzag and lots of decorative stitches built in. And then, of course, there was a 403 that was priced right in the middle where you could do decorative stitches, but you had to put cams in for each stitch. And so this was Singer's way of making sure that if someone came into their dealership in 1957 and said, hey, what's your latest machine? And they saw the 401, which was very expensive. They didn't want people to walk out. They still wanted the quality construction that Singer had. And you have to remember that many people had only ever had a straight stitch sewing machine. Many people had never had zigzag, because zigzag doesn't really hit the market in home machines until around the early 50s. And so, it had only been out 5 years, and people were very tradition bound sometimes. So, they'd spring for the new color and the new design, but sometimes straight stitching was just fine. And these machines were so expensive when they were new, a lot of people said, you know what, I'll take the straight stitch. The great thing is, the quality in this machine is equal to the others that had more features. So quality didn't change, it's just the number of features that did. So I'm going to do some demonstrating for you guys today, and I'm going to take a look at several fabrics, and you can see this machine sew. One of the things that it has in common with something like a Singer 301 or a 201 is it is a rotary style hook. So for those of you who have, maybe you've been looking at 301s and maybe you didn't want to pay the pretty significant prices that 301s bring, but you want a Singer rotary straight stitch that's just beautiful, consider this machine, because this machine, when I post it, I'll actually be selling it for less than I would sell a 301 for, and they're all restored. But again, this machine creates that gorgeous straight Singer rotary stitch that I've always been talking about in my videos. So anyway, we'll get it set up and we'll do some test stitching. Okay guys, I've got everything set up here. By the way, I've got the machine on a glass top table, so it may look like we're all floating in this room, but there's glass here. Anyway, I wanted to start, sometimes I start with heavy fabrics, but honestly, the slant machines, the 300s, 400s, and 500s, they will do some heavy stuff, but I really think they shine with light to medium fabrics, some heavy stuff, and I'll do a little bit for you. But I'm going to start with this. This is it's a woven fabric. It's got some of the little nubs on it. It looks like it may have been part of a window treatment. This is sort of medium, I'd say it's medium light. It's not a very dense weave, but we're going to do 2 layers. And my deep rose-colored thread should show up really well here. We're going to start, of course, with a long length stitch. And if I slow it down, you can see that, again, that beautiful, slow Singer needle control. Singer was renowned for that. But as you'll see in a moment, I can certainly speed it up. Speed it up and get it to go rambling down. Let's see here. I'm going to lighten the pressure on my foot just a bit, and I'll show you why in a minute. Don't know if you guys saw me rev it up there. I was really able to go pretty darn fast. Come over here now. And now I'm going to shorten my stitch, and I'll do that really short, beautiful stitch that the rotary hook is just so good at producing. And of course I'm going to back tack, which is easily done. Some vintage machines you push and hold, or you pull and hold when you're going into reverse. For Singer, many of the Singers, you can leave it there. For some reason, I don't recommend that you sew in reverse, but the Singers are often designed to be left in back tack mode until you take them out. That's just one of their features or characteristics. Now, I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show it to you. And I'll show you why I changed my my pressure a bit. This is you're seeing the first, second, and then the bottom is the third row. Now on this fabric, it's a little hard to see where the stitches come together. And then on this side, you'll see that first row across the top there. And then I lightened the pressure on the foot, which allowed the fabric to lay more flat. Sometimes if you have too much pressure on your presser foot, as the fabric comes across the feed dogs, it'll want to bunch up. And so, the fabric speaks to you, so you watch what the fabric's doing. Those of you who are experienced sewers know this already. But if you're new to sewing, you might think, hey, why is my fabric a little taut, right? And so we can adjust that. Let me fold this over. We'll do it. We'll do 4 layers. Again, it's not going to be any big deal for this machine. Make sure I'm back on my long stitch length here. And of course now I've got 4 layers, and since I've lightened up the pressure, you will see, basically the fabric staying flat. So anytime you are, for those of you who are new to sewing, anytime your stitches or your fabric is not behaving the way you think it should, don't assume that your machine is mechanically off. It could be that you need to make adjustments. Remember that these machines do not have computer software in them, and so much of what is automated today in machines you want to do by hand. The good news is you're not going to change settings that often, and I'd much rather have the quality of an all-metal machine myself. So you can see just beautifully straight stitches, and you'll see on this side, I think I have the same bobbin thread here. And so yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry, I don't. The bobbin thread is going to be, I misspoke. Here we go. The bobbin thread is actually a cream colored thread. Sorry, it's almost hard to see, but now I'm going to then move up. This is about the same weight, but a little more dense. This is part of an old Drapery. You've seen this in many of my videos because I try to be downcycle as much of the fabric as I can when I'm doing test stitching. So we'll put this in here, and both of these threads are going to show up here, and I think they're going to look gorgeous on this blue. Very easy to see the stitch quality. I'll go slow. Singer engineered their needles to be able to move slowly as well as quickly, and that was to help in the schools because Singer was the primary brand that was in home ec schools back in the day. So, oh yeah, I'm glad I have this dark fabric because I think you're going to really be able to see. I'll speed it up. You hear sort of a whirring turbine sound, and what you'll find with any sewing machine, particularly the vintage machines, is they all have different designs and different sounds because of how they were engineered. And I've been restoring machines long enough. I tend to recognize, like when I hear this, I know it's a Slant-O-Matic and it's a Singer from the 50s. Okay, let's shorten our stitch length. And I'm getting really what many of you who do fine, wedding gown sewing or quilting, many of you look for this consistent straight stitch that singers with rotary hooks are known for. And this is it. So take a look, guys. Look at the top row and you'll see the long stitches. I did 2 rows, and then come down, you'll see the shorter stitches. But look how incredibly arrow straight they are. And on the other side, you'll see my sort of off-white colored. I mean, that is an incredible stitch. Most new machines don't do this. One of the reasons, in addition to the fact that this is a rotary shuttle hook, which gives you that, you can get a straight stitch with both rotary and oscillating types. But the rotary hook makes it easier for the machine to do it. The other reason is that this is a dedicated straight stitch machine. It does not have the capability to do zigzag. And that means that all of its effort is dedicated to straight stitches. And some people will suggest to you that a dedicated straight stitch machine will give a truer straight stitch. I don't know that I can prove it, but I've heard people say that before. So, okay, let's take, finally, I'm just going to do 2 layers of denim here. This, unlike my Singer 66s and some of the other machines, I'm not going to do 9 layers of denim. This is a slant shank machine, and its claim to fame is its stitch quality. And I can do denim here. In fact, I'm going to do a couple layers, even with the denim seams, but I'm going to do 2. And the machine is very strong. You'll see it go right in there. If you are someone who likes to sew heavy, heavy fabrics, you can. Let's go back to long stitch length. And again, this machine went right over those seams like it was nothing. If you wanted to make a slip cover, you could easily do it with this machine. If, on the other hand, you were going to make a boat cover or a boat enclosure with Sunbrella, this would not be my first choice. I would be looking at one of the 66s. So here you can see how the thread goes over, and then it goes right over those dense seams in the denim, and it doesn't seem to mind at all. There's no loss of tension. Again, the hallmark of a quality machine. So if you guys have questions or you would like to bring your own fabrics to come and do some test stitching, please do. If you're new to sewing machines, I can show you how to use it. And if you are an experienced sewer, I'd love to have you sit down, take the wheel. And again, I have fabrics here, obviously, if you don't. But again, one of the great machines from Singer, after the 400 series, the 500 series would be getting on towards some of the last of the all-metal Singers. So one of the last great designs of Singer when they were still built here and they were all steel. Anyway, love this machine and would love to show it to you guys. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks.